You know what I love?
A few different things. Considering the context, I don't know.
Sitting down to watch a TV show, and at the end of the show, I shut the TV off, and I think to myself, nobody had sex with a pig in this episode. That's always a win.
Yes.
That is always a win.
You know, if you could say that, you're having a good day.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can say that.
Yep.
So I'm having a good day. How are you?
I am also having a good day. Not just for that reason, but just in general, I guess.
Okay. We're back.
Mm-hmm.
Holy hand grenade 2021. Here we go. Last week we did Soul and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
But we're here. We're here in the swing of things. As promised, 2021. We're going to hit the ground running. And this is our second Black Mirror episode.
Mm-hmm.
This is also our first of every other week Black Mirror episodes for the most part.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna kind of, we did one, what would it be, early December?
Mm-hmm. Just to kind of dip our feet
it out
in the
there.
water. Just to kind of
Feel some feelers, whatever that means. And, yeah. So here we are.
There we are.
Episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
15 million merits.
Yes.
These episodes are a little bit different sometimes than maybe our other episodes. We're going to talk a little bit about the episode itself, but we're also really just going to break down some of the moral questions and talk a little bit more about life and society and you know, it might get a little more political than you're used to our show being. If that's not your thing, listen anyways. I don't know. Or don't listen. Just skip this episode. Skip the Black Mirror episodes. I don't know what to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But neither, I'm not real interested in politics. I'm not a real political guy, and I don't think that you are overly either.
No.
So really, there's kind of a glass ceiling on how political the show will ever get. We're never going to talk about like political parties and stuff.
No.
We'll always be neutral.
Sure.
We will be Spain during World War II.
Yes.
Yeah. So, 15 million merits. Had you seen this episode, sir?
I had not.
Okay. Because you've seen like one or two of them, correct?
Yeah, that's fair to say. Probably under 5.
Yeah.
Somewhere in
but
that
so
range.
far, we've not reached any of those.
That's correct, yeah. So this is a new one to me.
Okay. I had seen it once.
Okay.
Previously.
Sure.
I'm going to say 4 to 5 years ago.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. 4 to 5. So I was familiar with it. I knew the overall gist. I kind of knew what happened. I think I picked up a lot more on a second viewing. So I am excited to talk about that. So, first impressions. Hit me.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to not be so disgusted or kind of just so uncomfortable from a concept. Obviously, and we'll get into this, it's a Black Mirror episode, so there's some narrative that's reflective that we should take away from saying, okay, this is what we can glean from society, or this is what this is trying to crack at here. Obviously, there's something that, to a degree, we might find uncomfortable, but it's not nauseating. It's not, oh my goodness, what am I watching, like episode 1.
Right.
So, it
Maybe
was,
not, yeah, not right in your, not overtly, not like, I don't know. It's interesting. I think I agree with you to an extent. I think once you think about what they're saying and they unpack, and you draw parallels between what you see and the world that we actually have, then I think there's a lot of room for discomfort and stuff like that. But yeah, there's
Sure.
no like I feel like I need to look away right now
Right.
moments.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Uh, what were your thoughts of this? Where had it changed from your first viewing? Did you like it more than the first episode on merit? Or where do you land on this sucker?
oh, I definitely think it's better than the first episode, and I think it's more representative, it better represents what Black Mirror is as a whole.
Sure.
Um, it presents more of a hypothetical. It presents more of a what if. You need to use a little more imagination, a little more. There's a little more fantasy to it than the first episode. Like the first episode, they achieved the same thing. All Black Mirror episodes achieve the same thing. They draw parallels between the world that you have and the world that they're showing you, with the goal of making you uncomfortable and showing you that this thing that's making you uncomfortable is kind of basically like this is just an exaggerated version of what you already have.
Yep.
The difference being that the first one, it's missing that fantastical aspect.
Sure.
Like it's fiction, but it's just fiction. It's believable fiction. It's fiction that's completely grounded in a feasible world. Whereas this episode and many of the episodes moving forward, at least the ones I've seen, are more Elseworld type stories, or like so far in the future that it feels different than what you know kind of stories, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So just on principle, I think this is a better Black Mirror episode. In fact, of all the Black Mirror episodes I've watched, I think the first one is the worst one. And I think I said that last time, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it has the least to offer. So 15 million merits. This is, it's I think I'm comfortable saying a futuristic world, where we are, not everywhere, where there is a job.
Sure.
Which is cycling. And it kind of maybe like it hints at this, like these people, this is a clean energy thing. So they're cycling and producing electricity. But there's this interesting thing that happens where there's nowhere in this world where you're not looking at a screen. Where there isn't a screen that you can see. Nowhere. There's nowhere where there isn't a screen that you can see. And advertise. I mean, there's a lot that happens here, and I think there's many different aspects to this episode. And so I kind of, like, with your permission, I would kind of just like to ask you, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that?
Of course.
And see where that takes us.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the idea, or what do you think about the fact that in this episode there are, so they're cycling and they're making money doing it.
Yep.
And everything costs money, whether it be your lunch or dispensing of toothpaste or the dispensing of hand soap or the water from the sink, like everything.
Yep.
You've got this balance, and everything you do lowers that balance, and cycling is the thing that brings it up. And your whole life basically is centered around the entertainment that is coming from these screens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's kind of like there's, I don't know if there's like an implant in people, but it's like ads follow, like the screens know where you're looking. Like an ad, every so often you have to watch an ad, but it's not just like every so often an ad is going to play on this screen. It's every so often an ad is going to play on whatever screen you happen to be looking at, because it's not that screen that's due for the ad. It's you that's due for the ad.
Right.
So what is, and you can skip these ads, but the cost of skipping an ad, the penalty for skipping an ad, actually costs more than food does.
Mm-hmm.
It's cheaper to eat than it is to skip ads.
Right.
Talk to me about that. Unpack that with me.
Yeah, it's something I noticed, and I wasn't really sure how to unpack that, right? I mean, yeah, I don't know where to go with that.
It's and the fact that like you can't just not look. Because if
Sure.
you turn around, the ad follows you to whatever screen you're looking at, because there's never a moment where there's not a screen within eyesight.
Yeah.
And if you close your eyes, it like the ad pauses and it just emits this awful, increasingly awful, painful, high-pitched squeal until you succumb and open your eyes and actually view the ad. And unfortunate for our dude in these, at least in social situations, it seems like Wraith Babes, which is the go-to porn website in our world, he's obviously patroned. He was a patron of it once,
Sure.
at least. And now he just gets, those are the ads he gets.
Right.
He just gets spammed with these ads.
Yeah. At inopportune moments.
Very unfortunate moments. Which doesn't seem to be an issue for the guy on the bike next to him.
And this is actually
because
kind of
the guy on the bike next to
I
him
took from this episode.
He's like big into porn, the guy next to him.
Right.
And it's weird because it's like in a room full of other, like he has zero shame about what he's about what he's watching, right? So but you were saying your big takeaway was what? Was the advertising, or?
Well, I'm trying to find a drawback to the question you posed, and it's a good one, and it's an answer I didn't have for the advertising. I don't know exactly what I'm supposed to glean from the fact that it was more expensive to not partake in the advertisements than just sit through them. And I mean, what I walked away with this episode was, hey, some type of metaphor, some type of allegory for a processed, meaningless, consumerism-driven, consumerism-fueled society. And I don't know, I guess reading into that, these ads, there's something to be said for you can't just get around it, you can't get out of it, you're part of it, and it's easier to go along with it, it's easier not to fight it. At some point you got to just cave in and partake in it. I guess that's what I would glean from the, hey, it's more expensive to abstain from it than to just go with the flow.
Right.
I don't know.
Let me. Sorry, go ahead.
No. That's
okay. Let me pose a different angle of this episode.
Please.
You have the cyclists
You do.
who are, for the most part, in good shape, because I mean they would need to be. This is
That's
ridiculous amount of cycling that we're referring to here.
And I think at one point they refer to the cyclist source or something from sitting so long on the bike. But yeah.
And one of the main shows that seems to keep cycling through the options that they have to watch is like this weird fat shaming show.
Oh,
It's like this weird show where like people are just being gluttons and like consuming more and more and more and more food, and they're all like, 275, 325 pound plus people. They're
Sure.
big people in this show. And it's a source of entertainment for them. And they watch and enjoy these heavier people. Now, I think there's an interesting metaphor in this so you have the cyclists and then you have the cleaning staff.
Mm-hmm.
And the cleaning staff are all a little bit heavier. They're not athletic bodies.
Mm-hmm.
They're all, plus-sized bodies. And they're just so you have these group of people who are just there to clean up after the people who are fortunate enough to cycle, but and could be fit too if they were able to cycle. If they were able to be in that position, then they too could be fit. But they're not, and so they're not fit. They don't have that benefit. But they almost kind of like the people who are on the cycles don't want the people who are cleaners to ascend from that job anyways, because it's a part of because the system works. It works better if there are people who aren't cyclists, who aren't fortunate enough to be cyclists, because then there's people to do the messy jobs, to clean things up. And I just thought this was like an interesting parallel to society, where you have the cyclists who are maybe the middle and upper class.
Sure.
And then you have the cleaners who are the lower class. And the lower class could be the middle or upper class if they were afforded some of the same opportunities that the middle and upper class have. But some of the middle and upper class don't want the lower class to be afforded those opportunities or to ascend to middle or upper class, because then the system falls apart. Because the middle and upper class need the lower class there to do the grime work, to sweep up after them.
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point.
Am I grasping at straws here?
No. I think there's definitely something. I think I can definitely see where you're coming from with that. I think that is a component. It's not something that I thought of, but that is, I think there's something there for sure.
Right. So then obviously the heart of this episode is the America's Got Talent knockoff.
Sure.
So this girl who she's got a great singing voice.
Mm-hmm.
Much better than the Irish girl.
Yeah.
And so she gets there, and she's doing her audition, and she's got a wonderful singing voice. But we have enough singers. Or maybe you don't quite have the face for singing.
Sure.
But you know what you do have the face for? And the one judge says, yeah, you've got whatever, good voice. But take your shirt off.
Yeah.
I'll care much more about your singing if I can see your breasts.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes this whole thing where like this whole stadium is cheering for her to, because they're not interested in her voice at this point. At first they all are. They're like, oh yeah, this is amazing. This she's got this beautiful voice.
Mm-hmm. And
then it becomes about boobs and not about talent. And it just, this corruption takes over. And even the female judge who is in agreement sheds a tear, almost to signify the fact that she feels like she's failed a member of her gender, that she's failed someone who she represents, and maybe has had to, was put in a position just like this, in order to get to where she is.
Right. Yeah.
Do you think that's reflective of the world that we live in? That like,
Ooh.
You could have a beautiful singing voice, but if you're fit and attractive, you're always going to go further, faster. Maybe not further in the long run.
Sure.
If you really pursue it and work at it.
Yep.
But you'll always go further, faster if you'll take your clothes off.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I maybe missed the boat a little bit on that one because I know that's kind of what it's going for. I think what I maybe gleaned from that was a bit more on the micro individual level of you might have an ambition or a skill set for a specific something, but the world doesn't perceive or doesn't acknowledge that skill set, but instead it says, we don't need singers, we need this. Will you conform to this and kind of sell your soul or sell out to this to become what the world needs to kind of escape where you are, or will you stay true to who you are and still be a singer, and obviously then you would still go back to your normal life, but you're still who you are? I think that's what I gleaned a bit more from that, and I think I may be missing the boat a bit because there is definitely more
No, I don't know.
There is the selling out and the sexualizing of something that was not supposed to be sexual.
Because she quickly becomes a porn star, and she quickly becomes, and so then there's the trailer where it shows you like the commercial or the advertisement for her as a porn star, and it shows you clips from her audition, but it doesn't show you her struggle. It doesn't show you her that she was reluctant. It just it fantasizes it. It turns it into to, it warps the story into making it its own thing.
Yep.
And I mean, part of that is probably the fact that she drank this compliance, which is obviously a play on cup and compliance. Do you think, like, so in that scenario, what is the real world parallel to that? Do we have a compliance drink that we all drink?
I don't know. Is it drinking in what the world is saying, drinking the world's Kool-Aid and following? I don't know. I don't know.
Is it that? Is it media? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it
maybe? Yeah.
Is it the opinion of our peers? Is it? Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the two questions that spawned or that were raised for me in this by this point were, one, do you sell out? Just on an individual level, like would you sell out and do something that you have no passion for, that it's not your ambition, to escape your life on the hamster wheel? Like, that's one question that resonated with me. The other was the opposite of how she got, or it was the opposite to her and how she got there. Would you take a chance and sponsor someone like that? Like what fueled this? Was it just pure innocence of saying, this is something talented that needs to be shared with the world, I need to elevate you to this? Is there something romantic? Is there some romantic infusions or some romantic motivations? Is it purely innocent? What motivated it? But more importantly, would you sponsor someone in that circumstance? So those are the two questions, kind of more rhetorical, that kind of resonated with me.
Well, no, I don't think rhetorical. I mean,
sure.
To the first question, because I mean,
sure,
he ends up selling out himself.
Well,
right? Like he absolutely does, because he's he re-raises all that money so that he can go and make a point.
Yeah.
And threatens suicide with this chunk of glass.
Sure.
And then when everyone's cheering for him, and it seems like, oh wait, there's a like, I didn't realize that what I'm doing, I never intended for this to be a road to fame, but I'm going to get famous doing this.
Right.
And they offer him, they're like, yeah, this, what you just did to us, they completely miss the point of what he's doing. They think it's an act
time.
that he's putting
Yeah.
on. But they're like, hey, this, what you just did is a road to success, and we will, we'll give you that silver spoon. And he takes it.
Yeah.
And
fair.
he ends up living this lush life. Sort of. And that's a question that I have in a minute. But like, would I sell out? Yeah. Yeah, if I'm being completely honest, if it was live in a small room and cycle every day and be in the same routine, like he says one line at one point where he's like, it's worth it just to experience, just for something real to happen for once.
Sure.
Because everything we're looking at isn't real. It doesn't exist. Everything that happens is a simulation. It doesn't exist. It's not real. So just for something to actually friggin' happen for once that is real. And so if that was my existence, yeah, I mean, assuming it wasn't something miserable, and I mean, we can get in, like,
Sure.
that's a whole debate in and of itself. Like, that's a debate on like the ethics of the porn industry, and like if
Sure.
if she's wanting to be a singer, what kind of potential emotional scarring is happening to her because she's now a porn star, and is a life on a cycle and in a small room still at the end of the day a better life than a porn star? I don't know. I mean,
and even
is it a more honest, pure, ethical, moral, straightforward road? Yeah, probably. But is it a better life than a porn star? Probably not. I don't know.
But I think there's a lot of things in that specific circumstance that muddies the water. I mean, you have her selling out because she's kind of pressured into it. It's even though you have this skill set, there's no openings in it. So you can either we're going to kind of pressure you into making a decisive, serious decision, where it's either you can quote unquote escape or go back. And even what complicates it more is, she was pressured into it, so that influences her decision making, but she was also, quote, for lack of a better term, she was drugged while she made the decision.
Right, but he wasn't.
He was not.
But he wasn't drugged.
He was not,
and
but she was. She was, and that's the thing.
I think to answer, like, I think it's easier to sell out and do what he's doing than it is her.
Well, and see, that's why I don't know if I never considered his as sellout, because I think I had trouble getting a pulse of what his motivations were, because I thought he was maybe trying to gain these credits to somehow reconcile or reconvene with her. That ended up not happening, and it almost seemed like, yes, his intent was to kill himself, and it turned out, did he make the decision he made because he was kind of tempted by the lust of, hey, you have power, we're watching you, we're picking up what you're laying down? Or did he make the decision he made because he said, hey, maybe they're not watching me for the right reasons, but I can still expel and talk about the issues that are with this world, and I have a platform to do so. So that's why I'm not sure he actually sold out.
I mean, I thought that his whole thing was redemption. Like,
sure.
I thought that his plan was to get there and foolishly make them feel guilt, make them feel the error. Like, he was so angry about what they did to her, that he was going to go there and try to show them the error of their ways, which was never going to work. But that, the glass thing was just to stop anyone from, it was in order to secure his platform.
A tool, a device or a way to achieve what he needed to do.
To get everyone's attention and to stop them from pulling him off of the stage. And but that he didn't take the compliance because he didn't ultimately he had no intention of winning. He had no intention of I think he had every intention of going back to his life of cycling after that.
Sure.
And I think he had every intention of doing that and either bringing the girl with him or at least getting them to give her a chance as a singer.
Sure. Yeah, fair
right?
enough.
To do good on how they should have, And so, like, I mean, he showed up to confront the system that he hates, the corrupt, broken, manipulative system.
Mm-hmm.
He showed up to confront them and ended up joining them for fame and riches instead. Right? That the evil that he hated once offered to him, he jumped ship. He changed his tune and he took that poison the same way that everyone else would take it. So would I do what he did? Yeah, absolutely. Because he essentially ends up with something no different than a YouTube channel.
Sure.
Really.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a gimmick, and it's a little bit more of the extreme. But how many people have YouTube channels and are big on YouTube and are stuck doing a shtick that gets views and has grown an audience, but it's not what they like. Wouldn't be their first choice,
right?
But their first choice wouldn't have as big of a following,
and that's why I don't think I consider him selling out, because maybe that's not what he intended to do, but it fits and it aligns with what he wants to achieve.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to flip the question around on you.
Please.
If you were her, and you were a singer, and you could sing, and you showed up to sing, and because just like everyone else, you probably want nothing more than like, what is it that she wants? Does she want to be a singer, or does she want to ascend from the life that she has, and singing is her best option or tool to do so?
Well,
so in all honesty,
that changes the dynamic of the answer, right? Because if the singing is just a method, if it's just if it's just one of the many options, then obviously the answer would be you jump at the opportunity. But if it's the sole reason you want to advance, then probably the answer is no, because you're not a square peg going into a round circle or a round hole.
So if you and answer honestly. I mean, this is a ridiculously hypothetical question.
Sure.
But you're a cycler.
Yeah.
A cyclist.
Yep.
And you show up. Your main goal is to, just like everyone else, is to ascend from this life.
Sure.
You want your 15 seconds or 15 minutes or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But really, it's just to get out of this life, have a cushy life. That's what everyone wants, is a cushy life.
Sure.
And you don't really care if it's singing or magic or juggling or acting or dancing or whatever. But you can sing. Singing is the one that you can do. And you show up and you're on stage, and Pete, they want you to, they say, you're a good singer, but we were more interested in what's in your pants. We want you to take your pants off, and because we think we have this other industry, and if we like what we see when you take your pants off, then there's an industry for you. There's a job in the industry. If you're horribly deformed or something, then, like if you naked doesn't sell, then we can't do anything with you. But if you naked does sell, then we have a spot for you. And this is probably the one thing. It's the one job that you hadn't considered because it's morally compromising to you. It's not something that is in line with your morals. but it's an opportunity to get out of this life. It's an opportunity to, which, like a miserable life. It's like a factory job, except isn't actually relief ever. Do you, at that point, take the offer and go into this adult industry because it means escaping from, because although you have to compromise on your morals, spit in the face of your morals, you are getting out, right? Similar to, like, it's like Titanic, right? When people are like men are sneaking onto lifeboats. Is it morally compromising? Yeah. But it's that moment of desperation. You just do it. You just do it because the thought of going back and spending the rest of your life in this other situation is at least just a little bit worse than the idea of having, sex on with strangers on video for the rest of your life. Or at least long enough until you have the money to retire, or whatever that looks like. So what do you do? What do you do in that position? I'm telling you, will it lead to depression? You probably. Will it screw me up emotionally and mentally? Yeah, probably, definitely. Am I doing it? Honestly, yeah, you betcha. Because it's to me, it's self-preservation. It's eat or get eaten. It's survival. But what about you?
Listen, I might be missing some of the point of what you're trying to get at, and I'm not trying to be evasive. But I think my answer is quite simple. No is the answer, and I'm going to give it in the context of this way it's presented in this episode. I mean, sure. Yeah, you're escaping from the rat race. Yeah, you're escaping from the cycle. But I look at it from kind of a seize the day aspect, right? Because people say, in this circumstance, she could sell out. It would be doing something she hates, something that's, in this case, exploitive to her. Questionable. Will she actually be happier than her existing life? And quite easily, I would say no. I've got a mate that I've just, and by mate, I mean like a friend, not an actual like mating partner. I've got a friend that I've gotten along with. I'm just going to go back to my cycling world. I'm going to find meaning out of it. I'm going to connect with my friend. We'll smell the roses. We can eat our lunch together. We can go cycling. It's like going to work. We can come home. We can hang out. I can build a life, and, I can morally enjoy it more, and I can just find the aspects of my existing life that I like more versus selling out, which questionably, yeah, she's escaping her current life, but would she be happier? And in this circumstance, I think I would quite easily say no. It's I mean, I guess if you change the dynamics of, to me, it just was not a living hell enough that I had to say, yeah, you have to sell out no matter what the cost. In this case, the cost was not near enough that I had to say, yeah, absolutely, sell out. So I would say no.
Right.
I would say it's kind of like I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I guess I don't need to. I guess this whole film or episode was an analogy. So yeah, I'm quite comfortably saying no.
That's the answer I wish. That's the answer I want to give. That's the answer I wish I could give.
Sure.
I don't know. I worry that in the heat of that decision, that anxiety about like that this is the one chance I have to get out of here.
And I'm unable to break it down and make a calculated decision sitting in a comfortable chair going, you know what? These things are pro. I've got a friend I can go back to. My life has more meaning as a result. I can do these things versus knowing the net result of selling out, where I don't think she's happier. I don't think she's enjoying life to her fullest. It's not that it's so much drastically better than it was. So I can make this calculated decision quite easily sitting here. If I'm standing on a stage feeling the pressure of that, feeling the pressure of fear of missing out of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and also not playing with a full deck of cards if you're drugged to some degree. So obviously, yeah, it's easier for me to just sit here and break it down and say no.
Sure.
But yeah, I
I
would
think
say
that's
no.
what I'm getting at. I mean, your answer is obviously the right answer.
Sure.
What I'm saying is that I think the emotional, like the emotion, anxiety, pressure, real world answer is maybe a little more vulnerable. Is maybe a little more,
And so here's the analogy that, no matter what, it's kind of like saying, gee, I just got to win the lottery, and if I win the lottery, I'll be happy. And using the analogy of you got to ride your bike every day, there's still things that you have to do that you would still do the same things if you won the lottery versus if you didn't. And the winning the lottery is not a catch-all.
You do a lot of things that you wouldn't, though.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. The analogy can break down pretty quickly, but I'm saying, if I had to kill someone for that money, it's morally not worth it to me. I'd rather just find significance in my existing life. I can morally live with it, and I'd be just as happy because to a certain degree, I'd still want to do the same things with all that money. I'd want to find someone I like spending my time with. I'd want to do something so I wouldn't be bored, so I would want to go on the bike. You can't just sit there and do nothing. Yeah. I guess what I'm trying to say is I would say no.
And I wouldn't, so put in the same situation, like if I were in that lifestyle, the cycling lifestyle, and I was given the opportunity to leave if I killed someone, I wouldn't leave. I wouldn't take that step.
Sure.
But I do think that I would spend more time thinking about it and trying to figure out if I could morally justify it than I'm comfortable with. Right? Like
Sure.
I do think I would literally be weighing the pros and cons going, but is it like, can I just kill the person? Like, which is a weird position. I think there's so much power. And that's the point that I get from this episode in his decision at the end is there's so much power in gluttony. There's so much power in achieving goals and achieving dreams, even if they're not our dreams or our goals. There's so much in the value to us in how cushy our life is that we compromise on our morals and we compromise on who we are and what we've worked towards and what we've fought towards, that when an easier solution is handed to us or offered to us, often we struggle or fail to take the high road in lieu of this nice, cushy, easier solution. But yeah, but I don't know. Do you have anything else? I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable with that. I think that was I set out to answer a moral question.
Sure.
And it took us a little bit to stumble into that moral question, but I think you ended up asking it, and I was happy answering that. And we have different answers, but I like that. I like that. Would I become a porn star to escape a life of cycling? Yeah, probably. And that's I don't think I would be necessarily better off for it.
Sure.
I don't think it's I don't think it's the good path to take.
No.
But I think I would fail to think this logically, even knowing it, even thinking about it, even thinking about it through going into it, I think I would be miserably tempted to escape by any means necessary. Right. And take that fame no matter what it looked like.
Two quick things I want to wrap around to before we wrap it up. One is just as a character, and maybe there's more philosophical layers we can peel back, but one is a statement or a commentary or a comment or an observation, I guess, of the penguin that's on his desk at the end. And I'm not sure if
Yep.
it's just to signify that he's never forgotten her, if it's to signify that he wants to reconvene her and morally save her in some way. Not sure the significance of that. The other is more a question, and I'm wondering if you are wondering the same thing or if I'm missing something. Is just at the end.
I know what you're going to ask.
Is he looking out a window, or is it just another
I think
digital?
I think it's
panel?
a simulation.
So
Yeah.
he escaped to a degree, but not completely.
Yeah, no, 100%. I knew that's what you were going to ask, and yeah, I think he could make that screen look like whatever he wanted to make it look like.
And so maybe I'm grasping at straws here, but I if I had to kind of put a label on things, I would say this episode's maybe an allegory, like I said, for consumerism driven society and everything processed. And I would say, if I is a more of a micro breakdown, I would also say his show could maybe be a bit of an allegory for the actual Black Mirror series.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I did find myself thinking during the episode, I was like, wow, I'm watching a show that's talking about how what you consume on a screen. I'm consuming something on a screen that is talking about how fake the things that you consume on screens are.
Right.
That's not real.
Sure.
That's has no value. And yeah, so that there was some irony there that was in no way lost on me.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, 0 to 10 this episode for me.
I gave it, believe it or not, I just gave it a 7 as I did the previous episode. Obviously, I felt very differently about the episodes, just more how they made me feel physically ill or not. But yeah, I think it's too early for me to really kind of go polar opposites and say, no, this is a 2, this is a 7. So for what it was, I'm just going to give it a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. What would you give it?
So I gave the last episode a 4 out of 10.
Sure.
I gave this one a 6.5.
Okay, so up. Yep.
Yep. So up past the medium.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. I think we're still just picking up speed. I think there's a world of Black Mirror potential out there that will top this.
Cool.
So
Cool.
cool. So that's Black Mirror. Now I want to talk about something.
Please.
There was a farmer who had a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And his name was Marshall. No, Bingo. Sorry, Bingo. So longtime friend, listener, and in the next month and a bit, guest of the show, Marshall, was apparently hella bored over the holidays, and has devised the most beautiful thing to ever grace our social media, a Movie Men Bingo. And we're going to make this available to you somehow. We're going to figure out the best way to do it, to make a link. Ooh. Okay, so all we have to do is post it somewhere.
Yeah.
And then include the link in the show notes. So it's always hey, if you want to play along,
yeah,
bingo it up. And
That's
we'll
true.
just say that at the beginning of every episode.
Hey, do it.
Okay. But anyways, Marshall put together a Movie Men Bingo
So
that
good.
you can play while you're listening to the podcast.
It's art. It is art.
And we want to spend the next 5-10 minutes talking about it real quick.
Sure.
Pete, do you mind reading off the bingo squares? And then we can just,
with
make a quick comment on...
So much pressure. Not pressure. Pleasure.
Pressure? So much.
It's so
it,
much
Pete.
pressure. Don't
Do
do
it.
this.
And then we'll just talk about, each square we'll just kind of talk about yes, well, what this is referring to is blank. Or,
Well,
no, that doesn't happen. Why is that even on there?
so right off the bat, here's one that you just accomplished. Brady self-deprecates the podcast by saying Marshall must have been hella bored. make this.
So that's something I do a lot. I'll be
Yes.
like, I'll be like, welcome, listen to the show. I don't know, I'll be like, hey, you've stumbled upon us on the internet. I'm very sorry that that's happened. Maybe look elsewhere. Maybe move on. Maybe
Sure.
don't. Find something better to do with your life. Yeah, I do. I spend a lot of time shit talking our show.
Which also relates to the addressing people who didn't listen to this.
Right. Is that the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do that all the time. Well, so, and so do you. We'd be like, thank you for listening to the show. Or even if you didn't listen to the show, thank you anyways.
I don't know if I said that. I think that's a you.
It might just be me. I love shit talking people who, like, I can say right now,
true.
anyone who didn't listen to this show, anyone who didn't listen to this particular episode,
sure,
is an asshole, and they'll never know. They will never. There's no conceivable way, because if you've listened to this, then you're good. Then you know that doesn't apply to you. So I love referring to people who don't listen to the show.
So you maybe hit on the next two, because there's a Pete recoils at a Brady joke, and there's Pete doesn't go along with the Brady bit. So I feel like that's kind of a bit of each of those.
So you recoil at a lot of my jokes. And you also, there's a lot of, I was talking to someone about this. I was showing the bingo to someone, and they got a real kick out of the Pete doesn't go along with a Brady bit, and I think occasionally it's because you don't understand what I'm trying to line up, or you miss it.
Yes, I would agree
but
with that.
I think there is also a lot of the time where you're just like, not like, you can see where I'm taking it, and you don't know how to navigate that in a way that doesn't affect your moral compass, and so you just pretend you didn't hear it and you move on.
Yes.
And I'm left there like with no worm on my hook.
Holding
fish.
the pieces. The shattered pieces.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, that could have been real good, buddy. Thanks. Yeah. No, that happens. That does happen.
It does. Just in general, Star Wars.
Star Wars gets talked about a lot.
Yep.
Yep.
Couple more general ones. Joaquin Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that comes up.
John Williams. Just in general.
Yeah, which is you. You bring John Williams up.
If I had a nickel.
Oh yeah.
Also, another big me thing, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean,
Yeah. Are there any Leonardo DiCaprio films that are scored by John Williams?
Oh, hell yeah.
Like what?
Catch Me If You Can.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
A musical is mentioned. That is both of us. Both of us.
That is both of us. I don't know if that might be a harder one to achieve. I don't know how often that happens.
I think
it might be like a platinum one. I mean, it happens frequently enough.
Yes,
but not near as much as some of the other ones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. That's actually this could lead into the next one. Sure. Fair enough. Pete says sure or fair enough.
Yeah, you do that a lot.
I do that a lot.
A lot. Those are like your crap go-to words. Like your just response words. Your generic either your I agree, or yeah, you've got a good point, or I wasn't listening and don't know how to respond. So I'll say fair enough.
Or I disagree with everything you just said, and I don't know
but don't want to be argumentative.
Yeah. No, it quite honestly has so many different meanings, but it is something that is quite repetitive on my end.
I feel like you saying sure and fair enough is often tied into you not going along with one of my bits.
Oh,
you'll just respond. You'll just like kill it by saying fair enough. So also, I wanted to. I'm looking at my notes here, and I'm like, "What? No! Rewind. What's going on?"
That's true. That's true. Brady self-identifies as a completist.
Yeah, well, I am,
You are.
and I was talking to someone about this as well, and they said that that not only am I a completist, but I only ever refer like once I have a terminology for something,
Sure.
that is the terminology I use. I will never say I'm the type of person who once I watch one thing I have to watch. No, I am a completist. I am a completist. That is the only way I refer to it.
Well,
because
listen,
that's my terminology.
do it. I mean, we don't need to hear. Well, we don't need a 20-page essay to describe what you're doing. You've got a word. It's concise. I'm all for it. Like,
I mean, we'll talk about this on this week's main episode.
sure.
But I watched two entire film series.
Yep.
This past couple of weeks.
Sure.
Start like within a few days. I was like, okay, all 4 of these, all 5 of these. Let's just go. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, it's you just got to barrel through.
Yeah. Pete modifies a swear for radio.
And I think I misinterpreted this at first. There are times where I'll say, FUCK or BITCH or WHORE, and then we'll finish recording and be like, oh, it was a good episode. Do you mind maybe just removing the part where you say that?
Yeah.
Because I think my mom might listen to this episode, and like,
sure.
which and I always do it. I always do
yeah.
it. But
Yep.
I thought that that's what we were referring to.
No.
But I think it's actually the fact that I say shit and you say poop.
Yep.
And
That is
I say
100%.
asshole and you say butt or something. Do you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
you,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
you've got like a 12-year-old's dialect, and I've got
Sure.
a 13-year-old's dialect. I've been on the other side of the playground.
Sure.
I say the swears and we just don't tell my parents about it. Yeah.
Right. Okay, we've hit those ones. Lord of the Rings reference. Yeah.
Again, mostly you.
Yep.
Yeah,
I can take that.
but
Yep.
that's I don't love Lord of the Rings any less. I just
No.
don't. It's not
Yeah.
my go-to reference.
You don't need to. You love it just as much, but you don't need to tell everyone about it.
Yeah,
Which-
I'm secure in my love.
Yeah, which I
for
don't
Lord
know
of the
what that
Rings.
means about my relationship with it, that I have to tell everyone. Like, it raises some red flags.
Well, the fact that I think the fact that you have a close personal friendship with Peter Jackson makes it.
It
You know.
muddies the waters for sure.
Yeah.
Brady says literally, but means figuratively.
I literally do that all the time. But that wasn't an example because I do literally do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I'm a very expressive storyteller.
You are,
very
yes.
expressive storyteller. And so
Yep.
I'll say like, it's literally like, I was gonna say Lost in Translation is literally the worst movie ever, but that's also not an example.
Well, and that.
because it is literally the worst film ever.
Oh, well, and there goes the next
but
point.
do you know what I mean? I'll be like, oh, literally. I was literally up all night editing the podcast.
Sure.
Well, no, I wasn't. I was up till 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
But whatever. It wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
That's the next point. Brady rips Lost in Translation.
It's got to be done. This is that probably happens. There's probably that could be a free space. That happens really often. It's a good if you're halfway through the episode and you're just missing one square to get a bingo, and
Sure.
that square is lost in translation.
Yeah.
Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. It could be coming.
It could be coming. Titanic should be a free space, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, we talk about Titanic a lot. It's
lot.
like it's one of the best films ever made.
It's a good film. Very,
It's amazing.
very, very good. Listen, I think not as much as Lost in Translation, but pretty close. Brady throws shade at the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, and it'll be interesting because in a couple of weeks, we're starting our Batman series.
Mm-hmm.
Which means in a few months we will get around to the Dark Knight trilogy. And it'll be interesting for two reasons. I live, sweat, bleed, hug, kiss, punch, whatever. Batman. Batman's everything.
Yep.
And I am well known for not being as crazy about the Christopher Nolan movies.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm interested to do those for two reasons. One is to talk that out because I think there'll be some really interesting conversation because I think you fall in a category of people that when it comes to those films drive me up the freaking wall. But at the same time, it's been long enough and I'm ready to try again. I'm ready to give them another go.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. We kind of hit on this one before, but Brady does a swear. Tim Burton film.
Did you just brushed past that quick so that I didn't do another swear? Is that
That's actually just because we talked about it before.
Well, shit, son.
Oh.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. Tim Burton. Yeah, I talk about Tim Burton all the time.
Yep.
One of my favorite directors, and bothers me that it's one of my favorite directors just because I feel like it's the same as someone like, who's your favorite Batman villain? Oh, it's the Joker. I feel like when I say Tim Burton is one of my favorite directors, that I lose some credibility, that people go, oh, couldn't you pick someone like Ron Howard? Couldn't you choose someone like Clint Eastwood? Couldn't you choose someone who's not like everybody's favorite director? But I don't know. I can't help it. So,
yeah. These two are tied at the hip to a certain degree. James Bond and Sean Connery impression.
Yeah. Well, is it Sean Connery impression or just impression in general?
Well,
Sean Connery impression.
The one I'm looking at is Sean Connery impression, but there might be a version that says impression of some sort.
Okay. And then there's one that's just referencing James Bond?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, which that one, both of those are probably going to die out pretty soon. Like, it's going to be harder to get one of those squares now that we're done. I mean, until No Time to Die comes out.
Oh, then that's coming back.
In which case, oh, happy day.
A film other than this is our New Year's resolution, BT Dubs. A film other than the episode is spoiled.
Yeah, and I keep messing this up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like to spoil things.
Oh, yeah.
The Titanic sinks.
Oh, yeah.
Luke is the son of Vader.
Mm-hmm. Brady...
the Passion of the Christ. The guy dies. It's just fun to spoil movies.
Yeah.
E.T. goes home.
Brady equates Marshall with the score Pete gives.
Equates Marshall. Brady equates Marshall?
So I think what's meant there is when Peter says, on Marshall's scale, this film earns a blank, you say, oh, that's what Marshall thinks. And then you realize, no, that's Pete using Marshall's scale.
No. Pete's no. Marshall's scale stands for Marshall no matter who's using it. if I watch friggin' Casablanca tomorrow, and on Marshall's scale I give it a 0, then Marshall thinks that Casablanca sucks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that works.
That's the way the world works.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Back to the Future.
Again, yeah, it doesn't get referenced a whole lot, but is one of my favorite films, and so when there's an opportunity for it to come up, it definitely comes up.
I think this is the last one. Pete laughs surprisingly hard at a Brady joke.
This has been if you go back and if you listen to the show with headphones and
Mm.
you go back to like the first
Oh.
30, 40, maybe 50 episodes,
Oh.
Pete laughing at one of my jokes is a good way to bleed from your eardrums. So it's taken a while to like learn
Yep.
microphone etiquette
Yep.
and for me to do like some better sound editing and
Sure.
stuff like that.
And
But,
the miracles of a pop screen.
Yes, pop filters make a big deal. Wasn't there one? Isn't there a box that is one of us referring to a celebrity as a friend?
Oh, see, I think there's like about 2 or couple different edits of the
There's a
final
couple
bingo.
versions of this. Oh,
So
okay.
I might
Okay.
have a different
'Cause
version. I think there is one that has that. Yeah.
Because that was in one of them, and that's the reason why I got all excited. That's the reason why I said that your close personal relationship with Peter Jackson. was
Oh,
trying to-
yeah.
It is, by the way, it is a goal of mine,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to say when it will happen, and I'm going to wait a little bit so that, so that it's unexpected. But I do want I want to get I want to bat a perfect game one of these episodes. I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
hit every freaking box.
Yep.
Every box. Yeah. It'll happen.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. Wrap this thing up for us.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Please check out our social media pages below. Like, follow, subscribe. Check out our Patreon page if you're interested in supporting the show to help us maintain costs and help us to grow the show. If you're not at that level of support, no worries. We always love hearing feedback and comments. Let us know what you think and let us know what you're feeling. Until next time, thank you for listening.
Tune in next week when we review Cats.
No.
No?
No. No.
Oh. Tune in next week when we review every Nicolas Cage film.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All in one go.
Oh, man.
Ugh. I don't know that I would leave the cycle room if I had to watch every Nick Cage film. I might just stay a cyclist.
Yeah.
It might not be worth it. It might not be worth it.